Hi, it's Maggie again from the Flying Unicorn Store, and today we're going to use some molding paste, and we're going to use some mixed media inks from Donna Salazar and Colorbox. First thing I'm going to do is use this mask from Prima and mask off these flowers. You will notice that I have some masking tape on either side. I just put that on to hold my mask in place because it tends to slide around. You can see I haven't taped on the back. I hope you can see. Okay, so for masking, I use a palette knife and I just stick it in my molding paste and I just start smoothing it down over the mask. It's a pretty big mask, so it's probably going to take a lot of molding paste. I have to share my babies with you. They love to lay on their mat here in my craft room. They stay with me all day. That's Nika in the front and Chena in the back. Okay, almost finished here. Just make sure I haven't got any little bare spots. I do see a few, so let me put a little more. Oops. You really got to be kind of smooth with this palette knife, and I'm having a little trouble. I think because this is such a large mask with large areas. That's okay. Really, it isn't hard to use a palette knife. Ooh, I see a whole stem that I missed. Let's get that, and then I think we're done. Okay. You want to work fast so that you don't have a lot of molding paste dried on your project, because it's that much harder to clean off your mask. And being a rather frugal person, I'm trying to scrape up the excess molding paste, but I think maybe I should give it up. So, okay, this is done. Now I'm going to carefully remove my masking tape from the mask and lift off the mask. Oh, that's pretty neat. There you go, that's what we have. Okay, we're going to set this aside and let it dry, and I'm going to go wash my mask. Be back in a bit. Hi there, I'm back. I've had a serious camera malfunction. Actually, it's operator error, but we won't go into that. What we're going to do now is we're going to color our mask. We're going to use the Donna Salazar Mixed Media Inks. This one is Mossy. We're going to use a little leather. We're going to use some pink chiffon and Schoolhouse. These are really neat inks because they're very slow drying, which allows you to take your time embossing. It allows you to blend your colors. So they're really kind of fun. I got these not too long ago and I'm really liking them. We're also going to use these little finger sponges. You can use whatever you have, but I like these. These are kind of fun. And now what I have done is I have taken my mask and I have put it back over top of the dried masked image so that I can paint what I masked without getting paint all around it. Now, I like to put a little bit of water, and I like to take my sponge, stick it in the water, and then put it in my sponge, put it on my sponge. Okay, I find that working with your light colors to your dark colors works better. And as you can see, I've already done most of this, and I'm sorry that you can't see me from starting from the beginning, but as I said, we had a little camera malfunction. But anyway, can just sponge on. You can paint it like paint, or you can dapple it, whatever you like. I'm going to let that dry just a little bit, and while that's doing that, I'm going to continue on coloring my vines with mossy, or not vines, but the stems. Okay, and at this part, if you don't want green on your flowers, you need to be a little bit careful. And of course, I am a slob. No matter how hard I try, I always get things where I don't really want them. So I've learned to embrace boo-boos, or I've learned to cover them up. I've become quite skilled at that as well. Now, you can use a heat gun to dry this, but beware. The mask is plastic. If it gets very hot, it's going to distort. So, you've been warned, don't mess up your mask. I am using it very sparingly. And by the way, should you choose to use this technique with some other medium, just remember that if it's not water soluble, your mask is going to be ruined. This ink can be cleaned off with water, so I know that my mask is going to be fine. But I wouldn't want to do this with, say, molding paste, because the molding paste would dry on here and it would be hard. And you could probably scrape it off, but I don't know. I think you'd probably end up making a mess. So I don't advise trying that. And when I just used the heat gun, it didn't dry it completely, but it left it kind of tacky. So now I want to take some of the darker red ink, and these little, let's see, get this back in the camera, these flowers that I was working on a minute ago, I want to add a little red to them. As you can see, just by pouncing the sponge on there, kind of gives it a dappled effect. You can take a dry paintbrush, which is kind of paint it if you don't want dapples, if you want to smooth it out, or even if you want to add some streaks or whatever. It's kind of a fun thing to do. On this large flower here, what I did was I sprayed it, lightly misted it with water, then I took a paper towel and kind of damp dried it, and then I added my color, and that made for a different effect. Let's see if you can see. It's just a little more, I don't know what's the word, runny. But anyway, so there's different ways that you can use the inks. Okay. Now, I'm going to take some of the brown, and I'm going to, I need a little more water. Things in nature are not a solid color, so you want to mix colors. So I've got the brown, and I've got some green, and I'm just going to kind of dapple up my stems with some brown color to make them appear more like they would in nature. You just really, things are not solid the same color, because light, however the light might be hitting your branches, that would make a difference. Okay, now this is kind of dappled and I don't like that, so rather than pouncing the sponge, I'm dragging it kind of like you would a paintbrush. Okay, we're about ready for the grand reveal. Let me turn this around so you can see. I'm going to peel back the mask, and that's what we've got. Hey, that is really kind of nice. I like that. What do you think? I think that's really pretty. So there you go. Coloring with mixed media and a mask. Hope you've enjoyed this. I thought it was kind of fun. Now I got to see what I'm going to do with this beautiful background. And when I do something, I'll take a photograph so you can see it. Talk to you later.